Hello everyone, welcome back to another reading of the Hyrule Historia, and now looking through the contents, I'm going to do this a little differently than I originally planned on to. Basically, this book is separated into three sections. We read before, and the introduction actually begins in the first section, the world of Skyward Sword, the legend begins. Basically, they're going to tell all about the game and how it began, the world of Zelda. Then is the history of Hyrule, which explains everything about Hyrule, looks like, based on... I haven't read it yet, of course, but, yeah, this is a chronology of Hyrule and the gods, and all that stuff. So basically today, since yesterday I read the letter from Miyamoto and the introduction, I'm going to do every two markers in each section, with in the table of contents. As you can see, it's separated into different bullet points. I'm going to do two at a time. I'll label which ones they are and what section they're in. And if you're thinking this is a little close to last time I last time I uploaded a video, you're right. And I'm going to make I'm gonna make a video every time I pick up this book and I want to read it, which pretty much any chance I'll get. And of course I want to read with you guys, so I gotta make sure it's on. I make a video while I do it. I gotta read it on YouTube. That was the point of this. I wanted to share. It's really for me too, because I'd like to look back, and because Zelda's a very special franchise to me and all that good stuff. Oops, shouldn't peek ahead. So yes, we're in the Legend Begins, the World of Skyward Sword chapter, and we are beginning with those who hold the fate of the world in their hands. It was a time when people lived in the heavens, and time far before the name Hyrule was even a thought. The followers of the goddess and those of evil gathered their numbers and battled it out. Here's some comments. Here's a comment from a designer, Kobayashi. Excuse me if I'm not all up to date with my Japanese pronunciations. The Link presented here is a mere 17-and-a-half-year-old. He was designed as such, halfway grown up, not fully matured. In order to strike a thematic balance between this and Twilight Princess, his armament, I'm going to be doing that a lot, people. His armament and attire remain mostly unchanged, with perhaps only an absence of arm guards. The expression on his face are portrayed as slightly more comical and lighthearted than before, so that regardless of what expressions he makes, the expressions themselves seem more relatable. Additionally, there is a lot of interpersonal interaction in this installment, so the expressions are much richer. I never thought of that. In many Zelda games, I always noticed they do put a lot of consideration on what Link looks like. I mean, I'm wearing the Toon Link 4 Swords ones, for example, and Toon Link and Wind Waker is a good example. They put a lot of thought into how the game's atmosphere should be, which is a very important part of Zelda. The hero of the skies raises his sword to the heavens. Link. This is basically a character bio. A young boy who attends... Oh yeah, it's about him in Skyward Sword though. A young boy who attends the Knight Academy at Skyloft. His search for Zelda will not only allow him to mature as a young man, but indeed will introduce him to his destiny. They have some things in the Loft Wing, which is interesting. Our hero who rescues the land will later become Hyrule. Who rescues the land that will later become Hyrule rides a red bird. This is why the mark of the bird appears on his shield. Oh wow, that's so cool. I always thought that was like a phoenix or something. That's awesome. However, since the design had already appeared, was this some herald of the fate to come? Loft wings are modeled after birds called shoebills, and the idea for their curled tails came from the designer's pet Shiba. Hiroka, designer. Let's see. Is our hero always oversleeping? Oh, that's interesting. And it shows a picture of Link in Wind Waker and Skyward Sword. I'll show you these pages one by one, but I want to finish all the readings. The opening scenes of Zelda games are often show Link sleeping. Is this a way to convey the notion of a normal person waking up to the unknown, embarking on a hero's journey? I think so. So here's the pages. We have excellent. I'm sorry. I'm a pretty low-budget channel. If you couldn't tell. Yeah, you got some designs from Skyward Sword. Here's the Loft Wing. It's got some sketches there. Some bios. They have the Sacred Shields here. Levels here. And then it's showing the final version. Yeah, the final version of the shield. I'll read some of the things around the sketches of the Loft Wing and the Sacred Shield. Let's see. It's showing an aerial view. I'm reading around the aerial view of the Loft Wing. Upper portion is not feathers but fur. The silhouette and color are similar to the crest on the Hyrule Historia. Yeah, that was cool facts. Long hair, long tail. For steering, not flapping. This is where Link pushes his feet. They're like little back wings. Here's the tail, and then here's the little wings around the tail. That's cool. Kind of like a horse's pedals on the saddle. The purple and yellow bring mind the Master Sword to the Triforce. It's referring to the colors on its wings. When not flying, the tail curls up, much like a dog's. See, and it shows a model. It's not very important. Differentiating Link's bird from others. Remember, in the beginning of Skyward Sword, which they didn't really mention here, Link is the only one with a crimson Loft Wing. And they said that the species was thought to be extinct because there's yellow ones, there's blue ones, there's green ones, there's orange ones, there's purple ones, there's darker green ones. Let's see. Hairstyle can be changed. Subdued colors. It's explaining how it's different from Link's bird. It's showing that Link is unique because he is the chosen one. See, subdued colors. The same white and purple and yellow color scheme not to be used. Short tail. Handling is reduced. Fur is a little shorter. These wings are also a little shorter. Like Link's bird, Zelda's birds have bright colors and a long tail, evoking a nice feeling. So Link's bird has a longer tail than others, which is good for riding. Alright, take a look at the shield here. The Sacred Shields. Level 1, the appearance at the bird head is slightly changed. Level 2, please make the frame silver. Level 3, the pattern is improved. The pattern is approved in order to make sure the face resembles the goddess's and give the sense that she is wearing a shawl. The hair has been changed. Back, it's pretty much the handle. Belt color, red, level 3. Level 1's like a light sky blue, level 2 is regular blue. Please create the red area with polygons. I want to represent uneven areas with skeptical maps and bump maps. Pretty cool. It's nice to know there's a lot of awesome facts in here. Okay, here's something on Zelda. Alright, Zelda. Much like Link, she is giving a normal existence at the Night Academy when she awakes to the destiny set in motion for her by the goddess. Joined by Impa on the surface world, they do what they must to ensure the safety of the land. This is the first time she isn't a princess, which is true. That actually stumped me a little bit. I also like the fact that Link and Zelda knew each other, which in turn references the line. What originally came to my mind anyway was the line in Ocarina of Time where young Zelda meets Link for the first time and says his name sounds familiar. I also mentioned that before on my collab channel. This time she isn't a princess. So the first thing we did was remove any sort of regal ornamentation from her head. Afterward, her look was too simple. We wanted her to look like a typical village girl, but we also wanted to establish her as a heroine at the same time. So this is what we decided upon. Her outfit is a pretty sky blue, and compared to previous iterations, we went with a dress that was more red than purple. We had a director who requested Goddess Zelda be dressed simply and in white. Hirono and Kobayashi, designers. I've got a little question here. Princess Zelda and the Goddess Harp. The harp in Skyward Sword looks a lot like Sheik's heart in Ocarina of Time. Could this be the same one? Wow, that's cool. That's something that didn't come to mind. And basically they have some illustrations of what Zelda here is going to look like until the final product. Over here is Sheik with Sheik with her harp, and it looks a lot like Zelda's harp. I gotta remember the opposite. I gotta make the opposite move. I think it is. Tweet. And yeah, here's some original cuts of what she'll look like, and yeah, that's cool. I'm loving this book. I saw there's also reviews of this book online. I gotta check those out. Now here's Fi. She's a new character from Skyward Sword. Well, I guess not new in Zelda's world, but she was designed to. She was basically the Navi of this game. Obeying the goddess without question, Fi takes Link as her master. If it's Fi, I'm sorry, but I'm still new to Skyward Sword. I'm just saying, I'm gonna call her Fi. So if I'm pronouncing it wrong, don't hurt me. She is a spirit that lives in his sword. While her voice seems robotic and lacks any intonation, her emotions are expressed through her actions in key scenes with Link. Fi is always at her master's side. And, what's that? Oh, wow, cool. They're comparing her to, the Fairy Queen in Wind Waker. And, you know what? They look a lot alike. That's really cool. Because I always thought the fairies looked a little weird and different in Wind Waker compared to the other Zelda games. And basically a bunch of different designs were put and made. A lot of them actually kind of look like little Twilight Princessy. Look a little like I didn't think about that. Fi seems to be based in fairies here. Maybe she was the first fairy. I'm not. Well, we gotta keep reading to find out. Since the spirit of the Goddess Sword would eventually become the Master Sword, there were many design components taken from the Master Sword and implemented as motifs here. Additionally, at the beginning, we had imagined that this a la 1980s anime, in which the main character was usually accompanied by a beautiful personal assistant. There were so many designs, from the robot to the lady cat burglar, but once we saw the Wind Waker inspired design, we came to a unanimous decision. Kobayashi, designer. It's so cool. So here's a bunch of design ideas. A lot of different ones. We got like mechanical ones. All that stuff. Some of them look like normal typical goddesses. These remind me of the Ocarina of Time ones, only a lot less creepy looking. It's amazing. So they're going over each character. It's cool. Girahim. Now, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong again. I'm still new to Skyward Sword, and I actually haven't saw him yet, but I am aware he's the bad guy in Skyward Sword. A demonic being that relentlessly pursues Zelda for one reason: to use her spirit to resurrect his master, the Demon King Demise. Interesting. I much prefer. This is this is a quote from the character. I much prefer to be indulged with my full title, Lord Girahim. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And they show the Girahim final version. Being that these are new characters, they're talking about how they're designed overall, rather than what their design changes are. Upon the completion of design number 4, we'd finally much firmed up Girahim's look. First, we decided that we wanted him to be around the same age as Link, and acted as a contrasting counterpart to Fi. That's pretty smart. And through this, the design of the evil sword spirit gradually revealed itself. His third form had textured diamonds all over his body that would reflect light, being darkness. Hirono, Kinauchi, and Kiniko, designers. So looking around, they have this sword design, some early looks for his head and face. Different designs here, lots of different ideas. So here you go. See, take a look. It's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry if I'm not showing a lot of. I haven't seen this character yet, so I'm not very connected to him yet. Let's see. Impa. Here we go. Impa. Whether in the past or the present, she seems to do only one thing: protect Zelda. Sometimes that requires fighting, and sometimes that requires merely watching and waiting. For a young Impa, we referenced Impa and Sheik from Ocarina of Time. We also gave her an androgynous look, like a male role in an opera. The aging Impa costume also follows the passage of time, and her entire body is dressed to reflect that. Her pendulum braid measures time, ticking away the seconds, and an entire triangular robe she wears becomes a sundial. That's cool. With her age being measured by the braids of her hair. See, I always like that in game design, how they use their actual look to describe the character. And of course that sounds like something very trivial, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It makes a lot of sense. Sorry, I just have to go back for a second. Yeah, okay. We're hitting the end here soon, so... There's another page. I'm not going to show Impa's page yet because there's another character right next to it. The Imprisoned and Demise. The root of all evil, wielding enough power to destroy the world to ruin. Interesting. This must be the guy I saw in the opening cut. This is the guy I saw in the opening cutscene, eating up the forest. I'm not very far in Zelda at all. I haven't hit Hyrule Field yet. I mean, like, just to clarify, I got this game like a month ago, but I haven't touched it until now because it's like so many games to go over ever since the Wii U came out. With the only instructions that it should be enormous and that its vulnerability is on his head. We were allowed to design the Imprisoned as we pleased. Its design looks more like kaiju than a monster. I don't know what kaiju means. Trying to show the impressive presence and the overwhelming power of Demise, we drew him again and again until we got it right. To give him some resemblance to Ganondorf, we didn't just give him to make his hair red, but set it on fire. Laughs. That's kind of funny. His sword looks a lot like a black master sword, and it does actually. Kinauchi, designer. Sorry if I pronounced things wrong. Basically, they're describing him like they did the Loft Wing. I'll read those two. Here's him from a side view. The protrusions from his hands and feet, like internal organs, they are limp and do not appear to have bones, like regular figures. They are damaged when explode, and then regenerate from the limb as a single unit. I gotta remember that when I'm fighting him. That's a good tip. When there are, it is him from a front view. When there are 3 layers and each of them expands and contracts, they pulsate like blood vessels. It's interesting. By striking the top of the sword of the sealing spike with a sword, the player can hammer it back into the body with each strike. One pattern is pushed in. The sealing spike appears to be marble. The scales have a pattern. They're showing the individual scale here. The scales have a pattern of 3 circles. It is possible to animate their red pointed tips. The scales cover the whole body, and we know they will be a 5.6 material. They move individually using scale animation, and when they take damage, they are broken off and they turn white. I'm sorry the way the text is a little small. Let's see. Yep. They have him as 8. They have, basically different, same idea. The final forms, different ideas, different ideas for the sketches. Looks good. Looks good. I really want to keep reading. So yeah, that ends this time at 20 minutes. It's pretty cool. Good time. Humans in the heavens, tribes will... Oh! I didn't read 2 things. That's gonna make this pretty long, though. Let me see. You know what, I made a promise, I'll do it. I'm sorry if this video is long for you, but I want to keep reading anyway. Alright, so here's the next bullet point. Humans in the heavens and the tribes below. We're now done with the character bios and get straight to the meat of it all. In the sky, where Link and the humans live, the surface of the world is only a legend. Similarly, among tribes like the Goron and the Kikwi on the surface, there are legends of great landmass that floats in the sky. I don't know if they'll mention it in here, they probably will, but I remember seeing a really cool fact that there's a sketch of a Hyrule field for A Link to the Past, and in the background, Skyloft was in the background. That's pretty cool. This time around, the game maps were kept relatively simple. We challenged ourselves to allow the player quick and easy access between each area. The planners also wanted to let the player jump from high place and skydive into each area. There was a time when we considered placing a lake near the center of the land too. Fujibayashi, director, yes. So basically, this page runs illustrations. There's a little cliff note here. The 2 sides of the sword. In the Legend of Zelda series, there are many titles like where Link travels between 2 different worlds. There are worlds of light and dark, light and twilight, past and future, and of course, sky and surface. Link is oftentimes responsible for connecting 2 very different worlds, and that's why they call him Link. And that's what they intended since the first game. Like I said last time, though, graphical limitations. So here, take a look. Here's some whoopsie. Here's some maps. Very nice. Link falling into the surface. Some game footage on top. It's a pretty simple page. And I'm an idiot because I just realized that that second part was 2 pages long, and I had to have a moral debate on whether to read it or not, even though it was 2 pages long. Sometimes they will be short, the bullet points. Never realizing until now because I'm a dum-dum. That one was 2 pages long, so I might do 3 sometimes. Next time I'll probably do 3. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. It depends on how things are organized. Yeah. But most of all, they're probably 2 at a time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and all that good stuff. Let's see. Right. Next time we'll start on page 20, which will probably be tonight or something. I don't know. Maybe it'll be even. I'm telling you, these videos they're gonna be like 3 videos in one day, maybe, depending on my time, depending on my schedule. Maybe there'll be videos where there won't be one for days. I'm just letting you guys know how this is gonna be. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. And next time we'll begin the bullet point, Skyloft and the islands in the sky. We're gonna talk about Skyloft and something I want to know about, because out of all the Zelda games, I'm the least familiar with Skyward Sword. I'll see you guys.